AI summary tools are dominating the internet. Whether it's Sarah Dietschy rhymes with Peachy, Ali Abdal, or your favorite YouTuber raving about how AI can shrink down your favorite articles or YouTube videos in digestible bites in seconds, you've seen it all. And especially with all the AI apps coming out right now, probably played around with the endless amount of ChatGPT tools and suckered into countless best AI tool video rabbit holes and found yourself drowning in the sea of endless competitor Chrome extensions. Trust me, I downloaded like 5 in one day. And that's where this company called Shortform comes into play. Known for their kick-ass book summary guides, they actually recently launched their AI summary app, which brags about the ability to summarize anything on the web and YouTube in just one click. Learn ideas better with context and counter arguments. At least that's what they say on their website. But is it actually worth it? Or is Shortform AI just another pricey, run-of-the-mill ChatGPT service? Well, I'm here to help. My goal for this video is to make this the only video you need to watch about Shortform AI and just help you figure out if it's worth it for you or not. Today, we're going to break down what Shortform AI is, how Shortform AI works, what sets Shortform AI apart from the competition, the pros of Shortform AI, the cons of Shortform AI, free versus premium plans, is it actually worth paying for, and who should give it a shot. To sweeten the deal, if you end up deciding on Shortform AI summary, I've got an affiliate link that gives you a special deal on Shortform subscriptions, including a free trial and a discounted rate, at least at the time of this video. For full disclosure and transparency, they did not sponsor this video, but they let me test drive their software for free. And I've been actually using their software for over, about a year now. Crazy. And if you do decide to sign up for Shortform with my link, I just want to say I appreciate you for using my link. It just helps me create better content. Plus, I've negotiated with them to give you a free trial and discounted rate. But seriously, don't throw your money away if this isn't going to be of real value to you. And since it's the ultimate review, I've also included timestamps below. Let's get into it. So what is Shortform AI? The problem with the internet, we're drowning in content these days. There's over 500 hours of content being uploaded to YouTube per minute. To say that's a lot of content is an understatement. And it's impossible to watch that much content even in our lifetime. Since the popularity of ChatGPT and AI tech, it only amplifies the amount of content leading to a trash fire of faceless YouTube videos and listicle content. I mean, let's be real. Last thing that we all need is more crappy BuzzFeed content, and especially content that eats our valuable time. Enter Shortform Summary app. With a single click and a handful of seconds, you actually have a complete summary of a video at your fingertips. And if you're probably like me, you're just like, wait, Shortform does book summary apps. Why are they getting into the AI action? And when I was speaking to some of the Shortform people over there, they didn't want to be just known as a book guide company. Their mission is just to provide a comprehensive coverage of the world's best ideas to streamline the learning process. At least that's in their words. And just like how their book guides have really helped streamline my personal learning process, the browser extension actually lets you create high quality summaries of blogs, articles, emails, and even YouTube videos at the touch of a button. It even works for non-YouTube videos, at least when I tried it. So according to a Shortform website, you can use this extension to preview content before diving in, remember key ideas from your favorite pieces of content, learn background context to understand the issues better, understand counter arguments to form a well-rounded opinion, and explore related ideas to supercharge your learning. And real talk, when I was actually looking at Shortform, it got me really, really excited, because if it works, then it's not only just a time-saving hack, it's a game changer for second brain enthusiasts and Notion nerds like yours truly over here. The way I view it, it's like being able to order an appetizer or a Costco sample of your content before you commit a 10 to 20 hour YouTube binge or deep dive into an article. So it begs the question, what makes Shortform different from all the other AI tools out there? Before Shortform burst into the scene, I was tinkering with tools like Glasp YouTube summary, which I found on some random website, honestly, a long time ago. And when I was playing with it, I would click a button and it would launch a new ChatGPT tab, just prompt it to summarize the following in 5 bullet points with the whole entire YouTube transcript inside. But as I was using this, the catch was that it works so well for a 10 to 15 minute video. But when you decide to transcript something like 2-hour Alex Hormozy podcast episode with the Diary of a CEO podcast, there's a max character limit, which gets really, really annoying if you've played with ChatGPT or anything like that. And you're bound to miss crucial details. Hopefully ChatGPT will fix it, but that's the case right now. And this is where Shortform comes into play. Shortform AI not only skips the tedious copy and pasting into ChatGPT and the character limit, but breaks down a summary of what the content is about for the video, context of the subject. So through AI, it'll give you context and background of the subject. Learn more, meaning it will direct you to external links like LinkedIn or Google articles and all that. It also has counter arguments. It introduces ideas that kind of challenge the initial concept or hypothesis of a a video, and related short form content. It will also suggest other book summaries on the short form book summary app that you might like. But is it actually worth a hype? And how does this actually work? So rather than just tell you how it works and do it just to a talking head, I thought it'd be a lot more helpful to just jump into it. So you might be asking, how does short form AI work? So rather than just tell you, let's go into it and just get the first impressions. There are a few type of videos that I would like to kind of go over. One is a long form podcast. Another is a 10 to 15 minute talking head video, a tutorial video, a technical video, my 3-hour long YouTube course on high ticket sales, and kind of like summarizing an email. So let's go into each one of these. So one of my favorite podcasts right now is Diary of a CEO. There was a great episode with Cody Sanchez about like mergers and acquisitions, buying and selling businesses and all that. It's a very, very long video. Let's take a look at the extension that Shortform has. So it says 100 summaries per month. Let's generate a quick summary of this and see how it does. So it's generating, it's quite long. Keep in mind, this is almost an hour 38. If you haven't watched this episode, it's about buying and selling businesses. This was really, really interesting. This was a major point in this podcast too. Something I wish it had was like actual quotes from the video. This is all pretty accurate. She does tell her story about buying businesses for a full-time job, laundromats, emphasizes running deals, deal structures she talks a lot about, but it's quite a bit. And so what's interesting is that short form actually lets us know that it's way too long. What's interesting here is that it provides context over here, talks about financial freedom, entrepreneurship. Doesn't really talk about the mergers and acquisitions and buying businesses and all that. Although the learn more things are pretty interesting over here. And the counter arguments, this is really interesting. Systemic equality doesn't really have that much. And it talks about the E-Myth, which is actually a really, really great book. I really love that book. It talks about systems and how to run things. But I'm not sure if it really correlates to Cody Sanchez's kind of podcast. But you can't blame short form because it's a freaking hour and 38 long video. So let's go into a more basic video. Let's go to an Ali Abdaal video, PTYA, good times. And so let's take a look at a brief like technical how-to and stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's use the short form thing again, get a summary. This is about 17 minutes long, so it's a lot shorter than the Cody Sanchez Diaries of a CEO podcast. He has the castle method. I've not actually watched this quite yet. Goes over the first step. So something I really like is like the summarization of like these different steps. Even has the ad read over here of trading. And if you can't tell, like a lot of it is like very generic. There's no like concrete steps or anything like that. He has 2 books that spell Alex Hormozy wrong. It's so funny. This is a lot more practical, like because it's shorter and it's so fixated on the castle method, but I'm pretty sure that Ali Abdaal actually created this framework himself. And let's go into the counter arguments too. So the E-Myth makes a lot of sense. That's one of Ali's favorite books. I don't think Shortform has 100 million offers right now, but I'm also really surprised that they didn't recommend .com secrets too. So let's see additional books. Nope, that's pretty much it. So I would say it's relatively accurate, but it's kind of like basic type of stuff. And the cool thing is that you can copy a text and yeah, so there's that. All right, so that's like a very how to start your business. Let's do a technical article next. So one of my favorite authors is Blair Enns. He has great articles. So let's go to thinking. This guy is very well known for Win Without Pitching Manifesto. Let's go to this article, 5 alternatives to cutting price. So let's do a short form, get summary. Does an interesting job of like summarizing the major alternatives to cutting out prices. And basically in each one of these sections, they basically have an overview, but it's nothing like super specific. It doesn't have like, that's what I wish. I wish like for this guarantee, I wish that like this was in it, right? Like this quote. Yeah, so it's kind of generic advice, but it does like help. Like again, if your purpose is just trying to see if this article is worth it, it's a really great thing. And I'm very curious about the counter arguments too. When it comes to price and negotiations, it may not always be enough to avoid price cutting in the face of external pressures. Okay, that's an alternative view. While confidence, and these books are actually really great. Never Split the Difference is one of my favorites. Highly recommend it. I wish they had some more Blair Enns collection in the short form content library, but I read Art of the Deal a long time ago. Getting to Yes is one of those classic ones that I don't really read that often, but it's a very common tactic too. Okay, so there's that. And then let's go to a technical video. Let's look at my 3-hour course. So this is a very technical video. I shot it myself, so I know everything that goes into it, and it's a lot. And I'm kind of curious to see how Readwise handles it, because it's a 3-hour video and it's very, very long. So let's take a look at this. It's quite a bit. So I will say, since the first time I shot this, Shortform has really improved their summaries to go a little bit more deeper. Before, what I noticed that it just took the headlines for everything too. And as I imagine, it's too long for them to handle right now. And everything that it's saying is relatively true, right? Like collaborative selling. I talk about the labeling, I talk about executive state, I talk about mindset. So this is all relatively true, but like if I was to go over this, it would be like a lot. I think the first beginning part is like really great if you just want to source something and just be like, oh, is this really worth my time? That's when I would use this for. I wouldn't really use it to summarize like all the details and skip reading the content altogether. Like I probably would use like something like Readwise Reader and just dissect it through there. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Let's see if it's generated the counter arguments. Psychology of selling, counter arguments, limitations and drawbacks, not feasible for all people. This approach is focused on high ticket sales, not applicable. Benefits for certain individuals. Yeah, those are all fair too. Or this book, This Ultimate Sales Machine, has nothing to do with that. I think Never Split the Difference was way more accurate. But okay, now let's take a look at the next thing. Let's go into Gmail really quickly. Take a look at my emails. Let's take a look at an email, something like Ali Abdal's newsletter. And let's try to use Shortform for this too. By the way, I read this a while ago, and Ali Abdal has been going through some health stuff and just like body fat, protein, all that sort of stuff. So it should be pretty interesting because this is a kind of a technical newsletter that Ali Abdal sent out recently. Let's take a look. So notice like in this article, it just took the headlines. It does recognize the bolded text and just dumps it all in here, but doesn't have any like deep detail about some of the things I'm interested in. But if you're just, again, if you're just trying to see if the article is like worth your time, then it might be something to look at. So let's try this again. Gives context, has learned more, and counter arguments like strengths against, DEXA scans and things against it too. These aren't natural. Like I've never read Life Force by Tony Robbins, but it looks like it might be something interesting, but the rest of them aren't like really fitness type of things too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now that we have a good idea of how Shortform AI works and our first impressions, what are some of the pros of Shortform AI? So the first thing that I found very beneficial was content time optimization. One of the biggest problems is that we waste so much time watching irrelevant content. For example, if you're a YouTube creator and don't put timestamps with what the video is about, then sometimes we can find ourselves like, man, this is a total waste of time. And so in these cases, I found Shortform AI to be very helpful for identifying content that I actually want to consume, and helps me summarize long form content to see if it's even worth my time, if there's any unique points that I want to watch in a video. This is more when I'm like researching like a YouTube video for a review video like this. What I found is that it helps me to decide, is this a piece of content that I actually want to read right now, later, or just pass altogether? And there's no shame in doing that, by the way. The goal of reading or watching your content isn't just to flip through some pages or just say that you watched something. No one really cares about that. The goal is to explore whether an idea is worth exploring in the first place and see if a piece of content is worth the investment to see if we should retain this piece of information or whether it would be valuable to us, whether we can apply it into our lives. So something also really interesting about Shortform AI is that it really streamlined my research process. Before, I used to have multiple tabs open with ChatGPT, this website called YouTubetranscript.com, and a YouTube video. I would have to manually copy and paste into ChatGPT or Google Bard, only to get hit with that annoying you have exceeded that max character limit or whatever they call it on ChatGPT. It's a total nightmare. But with Shortform AI, it's just one click and you got your whole summary in the same tab. So no more annoying copy and pasting or character tag limit. And something cool about Shortform AI is that they have this little clipboard thing where you can just copy and paste it and put into your Readwise Reader or Notion board with just a click of a button. I've also done a review on Readwise Reader, so check it out if you're interested. Something that you should know too that has me really excited is that Shortform is also working on an AI chatbot update, which I'm really excited about, because imagine asking AI or Mosey about restructuring your irresistible $100 million offers. And I know I'm getting really ahead of myself, but it's pretty exciting to see what's planned in the future. The other pro about Shortform AI is that it ditches the echo chamber. Listen, I love Reddit, I love YouTube, I love IG Reels, but have you ever found yourself being spoon-fed the same things, the same content, the same ideas repetitively? Shortform AI actually brings something new to the table that I haven't seen any other app really do. It provides a broader context, it introduces counter arguments and additional resources. This way, you get a more balanced viewpoint of opinions and ideas, and you're not getting indoctrinated almost, right? Especially these days, I find that it's a breath of fresh air, and especially if you're a content creator and making a bold opinion, it's crucial to remember that not everyone thinks the same way as us. And this tool has helped me kind of produce better content by giving me a sneak peek of how others think. It also helps me to tactically empathize with my audience and just really put myself in their shoes before making any sort of argument. And if you're trying to make a point, or maybe you're on the Fresh and Fit podcast debating, then you can better prepare counter arguments and at least empathize with opposing ideas before just reacting to something out of the blue. The other pro or benefit I found was that it helps with better information retention. So if you're anything like me, then sometimes you binge watch some content and you want to revisit an idea, but you can't remember where did it come from. And so like I said in my last short form review, I'm very forgetful sometimes. And sometimes it'll hit me that, oh, it was in this really long podcast, but I can't remember the exact words that they use. And this AI tool just lets me get the gist and main ideas of a video before I even decide to control F and all that. The other benefit that I found was that it gives me recommendations for additional resources. Sometimes the things I really appreciate are other articles that are recommended by the Shortform team. So if I were to describe it, it's kind of like an Amazon checkout, and at the bottom it's always like, hey, other items that you might be interested in, or other items that other people viewed. And I'm just like, oh wow, I didn't even know I needed this, right? In addition, it also recommends other books via short form summaries that you can read to learn about a subject matter at a deeper level. If you're ever curious about what does a short form book summary look like, they have Deep Work by Cal Newport and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie for free. Hopefully use my affiliate link, which I would appreciate, but let's get back into the points. So when I was reviewing Shortform AI, I was like, is this going to cost extra in addition to Shortform subscription? And surprisingly, the answer is no. There's both a free version and premium version of Shortform AI. And if you are a Shortform book guide subscriber, you get premium access for free, at least at the time of this recording. So you might be asking yourself, well, what's the difference between the free version and paid version? So the free version allows you to access some of their free book summaries every single month. Like I mentioned before, there is Deep Work by Cal Newport and How to Win Friends and Influence People that are free guides on the platform right now. You can generate one new summary every single day on demand, and the premium version is pretty cool. First of all, you get access to a full short form library and book guide summaries. You can generate hundreds of new summaries per month. You get priority access to new extension features, and you can read as many of those book summaries that we're talking about. Downloading is another story. You only get 3 at the time of this recording. Their team always keeps us updated. Not only are they increasing their book selections to books that I actually want to read, right? But they're also improving their article section and this extension to make the user experience that much better. And so while this app is really new, some of the features that I'm really excited for is the ability to summarize non-YouTube videos, podcasts, Reddit discussions, and more. The ability to upload documents to summarize, being able to save highlights and notes to your private library. Hopefully it's with Readwise in the future. Being able to discuss topics with the short form community, AI writing tools, and chatbot. And so the biggest ones for me is being able to save it to my second brain, like my personal library, and also the AI writing tools and chatbot features. Something recent, I was playing with Readwise Reader, and a lot of those AI tools are so essential for the second brain, and it just makes my life so much easier. So I hope Shortform can incorporate those elements in here too. And Shortform, if you're watching this, and I know you are, if there's some cool input that I could provide, some features and functions that I was thinking thinking about what I would want in this app are quotable moments. So you know how you guys have certain summary points? It would be really, really cool to have the certain quotes that back up those summary points. An AI summary of the most notable comments in the comment section, so both positive and negative. Recommendations for YouTube videos with similar and opposing views. Not sure if that's possible, but those are some of my ideas. Overall, I think the beauty of Shortform AI lies in its frictionless experience and the broader context on web ideas. Okay, so Shortform AI has a lot of pros. What are some of the cons? And so let's talk about it. The cons of Shortform AI. When I was doing the initial tests for information-dense content, the results were hit or miss. For example, Blair Enns, he's one of my favorite authors on pricing strategies, pricing creative work, and selling creative work too. In my opinion, he's one of the best. But when I ran into his article, Why We Suck at Negotiating, the summary just pulled the headlines of the article. And while it wasn't completely useless, it wasn't overly useful either. So the other thing I noticed was that it has a generic chat GPT vibe sometimes, right? So the reason why I say this was like the next thing I wondered was like, how would an AI summary do for longer technical content? So I took one of my videos, like my free 3-hour high ticket closing course. And for the most part, it covered the high level, which is what a summary should do. But I wish it had a better option of going more specific. And there were some major sections that were kind of missing in that summary. Can't really blame it because it is 3 hours of content and you're trying to generate a quick summary, right? So it made me realize like maybe this isn't the best for longer form content. And when I say the ChatGPT voice, it reminds me of the older versions of ChatGPT. Right now, at the time of this recording, ChatGPT 4 is out, which is pretty decent, and there's a significant increase from the 3.5 version. And so in the video that I shot, I had specific questions that I usually ask during my discovery process, but it wasn't included in the summary. And so when I did the podcast with The Diary of a CEO with Matthew Walker, what I did appreciate were the actionable points that it brought in the video, especially at the end. And so while I understand it's just the beginning, something I'm really excited are the future AI chatbot features where we can just gain deeper insight and context about everything. Okay, so these are my opinions. What are other people saying about Shortform AI? And since this is new, there's not a ton of reviews. Majority are positive. So let's go over some of the other comments that I'm seeing on the internet. So since this is still fairly new, there's not a ton of reviews, but majority are still positive. So let's look at some of the comments on the internet really quickly. This extension, immediate. Value add, I often summarize an article first, read the short form to contextualize the content, and dive deeper into detail if needed. I think for this type of use case, it works really, really well. And keep in mind, before all these like AI tools and ChatGPT, we didn't have anything to do this. So this is really, really interesting. And plus they offer it for free, so you can't really complain about that. William says it's one of the most useful tools. And if you are an avid extended mind, second brain note taker, then the usefulness can't be overstated. The ability to summarize, especially if you're into second brain, like is like so important. Like you can summarize, but especially with tools like Readwise, like I think that tool is a little more efficient just for transparency too. But I would agree with William. The counter arguments are really, really unique to Readwise, and I really like this. So Jason loves how it summarizes long articles. Sabrina has been wanting this product forever. She loves the extension and uses it almost every single day. And I would agree with Steve in Adelaide. He talks about the context, links, and counter arguments take a while to appear. Otherwise, very, very excellent. I'm not quite sure what type of technology that they use, but I know especially like with GPT-4 and stuff, it's very, very slow. Edison says, pleasantly surprised that this was part of the short form subscription. As a web developer, I really love using the counter arguments in my own pages. It helps me come up with content that I could address those arguments. That's really, really interesting. I never thought about this use case before. And I do really, really appreciate Shortform for actually including it in a subscription versus charging us separately for it. I probably, like in all honesty, I probably wouldn't pay for it separately, but as an add-on, I use it quite a bit. And it makes reading so much easier too. I also bought a short form subscription for my wife. Interesting. Those are pretty much the comments about short form AI. And so at this point, we know the pros and cons. We know what other people are saying. So is it actually worth paying for an AI summary app? Personally, I think the app is great. But from a business perspective, I think it's a very smart, savvy, and power move to draw more eyes to their match book summary guides. Sure, short form isn't exactly the cheapest app out there, but one of the things I do appreciate is how they're always trying to find ways to add value to their current customer base. And plus, they got a free version out there. Who can really complain about that? For me, it's a no-brainer. I love where they're going with their AI summary app, and I can't wait to really start incorporating it into my second brain system. But if you want my opinion, this is who I'd recommend it to. So you're a creator. So if you're a YouTuber, podcaster, blogger, or content creator, you need to use it. What I found is that this is one of my essential tools. And while it doesn't like write my scripts for me, which I wish it had, it helps me come up and identify a unique voice in my content. Helps me think of like better ideas to put into a script, put into an article, put into my newsletter too. So what I find is that Shortform AI really helps me kind of research other content creators' content, kind of figure out their stances on certain opinions or certain ideas, and helps me figure out, hey, is there an opportunity where I can put my unique spin on these ideas? And thanks to the recommendations that Shortform has, I can reference books, articles, bring up counter arguments, or curate ideas for better and better content. And as a premium user, I also found their book summary guides help remind me of other books to read. So it's not just like a one-off type of thing. It's almost like a network effect. They'll suggest a lot of other books that I might be interested in as well. And I think more importantly, it just helps me kind of credit the original authors. So many times on the internet, for some reason, people just rip intellectual property without crediting the original owner. So I think that's really, really important. Okay, so who else might benefit from this? You're a researcher or student. So back in my college days, this was like pre-iPhone days, super early. There were times where I had to make a case for an opposing viewpoint or pull from a ton of sources. This was pre-AI, so I was stuck playing the Google or YouTube search lottery, wasting hours trying to find the content that I needed. A cool way that I could see us using something like this is being able to shoot a raw, uncut video about a topic that we want to write about or research about. We upload it onto YouTube, we put it as unlisted, and we can get a neat summary, the context, recommendations, and counter arguments too, where we can just add on to our research or paper or thesis, whatever you guys are doing at the moment. Honestly, I think it's going to be a huge life changer. You're a long form content consumer. Probably wouldn't apply if you really love like shorts, reels, or TikToks. But if you're into podcasts, long form content, or maybe you get those never ending emails from that client or boss, this extension I feel like is a lifesaver. It can really break down the high level info so that you can just decide how to prioritize your day, whether it's worth answering or worth your time or not. Although that email from your boss is probably really, really important. Another group that I think would benefit a lot from Shortform AI are entrepreneurs. So I think about folks like Naval Ravikant, who is known for distilling ideas and sharing them into snackable pieces on his Twitter. Honestly, he has one of the best Twitter threads ever. And the hard truth is, most people who are like me, they're running their businesses, they value your time, and they can't afford to read everything that comes their way. So when we do decide to actually read a book, it's a major time commitment because that is time that we could just be spending somewhere else in the business too. And so Shortform AI, personally for me, has helped me weed out what's really worth consuming. Anyways, if you want to check out Shortform AI, the free or paid version, then please check out my affiliate link below. I would really appreciate the support. Thank you. And if you're thinking about the Shortform book guide app, then watch my ultimate review on it to see if it's worth it for you. You might as well, because it is free. Anyways, stay compassionate, stay authentic, stay rebellious. Peace.